Welcome everyone to our daily Forex market analysis call. This is in preparation for trading on September 13th, 2017. Just a quick disclaimer before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. Let's start off from the top as usual. In terms of our news today, not much happened in the New York session. It was very sideways type of choppy movement. And in the in the London session, big thing was the CPI data that came in better than expected. Like we talked about this yesterday, the data came in more positive than what the forecast was, and it was higher than the previous number. So this was very positive for the British pound, and we saw the British pound jump up. So now one of the reasons this is important is because once the inflation data starts coming in positive, then that puts more pressure on the central bank to raise rates. So that's really what's driving the British pound. Coming up tomorrow, very important day. We have a ton of data here. So for the rest of the week is going to get, more important as we go in terms of the news. And start the day off with, we are going to look at average earnings index and employment numbers from a British pound here from UK. So if these come in positive as well, just like we saw inflation data come in positive, that will be very positive for a British pound, and we may see the British pound go up higher because it will just build on the high inflation numbers. That means, so if the inflation numbers are coming in positive and the economy is doing really well, then we are likely to see the British pound go up even more. And in the US session, we have PPI numbers, which is leading indicator. So that will be important. It looks like it's supposed to rise now. So if that comes in positive, that will be positive for the US dollar, and crude oil inventories coming out tomorrow as well, which will have an impact on dollar CAD. So we do have federal budget balance. So there's a lot of stuff going on, or there's stuff going on in the news in terms of raising debt ceiling and stuff like that. So when the budget comes out, we are going to see if, so it may not be tomorrow, but there'll be more talk in terms of raising debt ceiling. So that would tie into this. But tomorrow we do have the budget balance coming out, and it will have a bit of an impact on the market. But overall, we have red news for Australian dollars. So Thursday will be a big day in the markets because we have more central banks coming out. But here we have Aussie employment data and industrial production out of China, which will also impact Australia and New Zealand. So it picks up in terms of news tomorrow. All right, so let's start off with our euro dollar here. Euro hasn't really done much. We saw a bearish candle, but since then it dropped a bit, but it has moved back up since then. So at this point, very neutral close for the day, but it looks like it is holding this previous support and resistance level. It's staying above this level. So in this case, it will really depend on the strength of the US dollar. So if the US dollar is strong, then we'll see this drop. But in this, so we have to, because it's like this, it's such a small move, plus there's no direction at the moment. So we are going to look at this 120 level, 1.200 level here. So if the price stays below this level, then we are looking for a further move to the downside, kind of like this, and move down here into 1927. But if the price breaks through this level, then we can go and test this level once again, the highs of 120.80 level. So that's what we have to keep in mind. So the test will be the 1.200 level to see if the price is able to get to that. So this is what we have. This is the previous support and resistance level that the price came into, almost into S1. And now it hasn't, but it was a very small move for the day today. So it's kind of hanging around here. It's holding above the pivot point right now. And this is the level that we are watching, 1.200. So we can even push it slightly higher. So that's the 1.200 level. So if the price stays below this, then we're looking for another move. First into 1.1920 level, and then further into 1885 level. So the bias is neutral for that. Pound here, this is very bullish. So we have, yesterday we were looking at this one here. So this is very bullish close for the day here. So if we look at our next level will be 13400 essentially. And even higher will be 134.75. So over the next couple of days, if data comes in positive, that's sort of where we are targeting for our British pound here. So this is where we are. So let's pull it back a little bit into our, so we are at 132.87, and the next target is 134.40-ish level, and then beyond that 134.80. So about 100 pips on where it is currently. So bias is definitely bullish, and in terms of the pullback, it could come into this level. So we may see a pullback into this right here, 132.20, and then another move to the upside. So that's something to be kept in mind. But overall, the bias is bullish on this. And if we go deeper here, so this is where I'm expecting the pullback to come to, but sometimes when the move is very strong, it may just have a shallow pullback. In that case, this level here, this support resistance level, 132.45-ish level, which lines up with our pivot point, could be a pullback level for further move to the upside. Aussie here. Aussie daily close is neutral to bearish. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So the close is neutral to bearish. We do see price close down here. So in this case, we're looking for further weakness in this. We do have oil inventories coming out tomorrow that will have an impact on this pair here. And also depending on if the US dollar, whether the US dollar is strong or weak, this will be impacted. But just based on the way the candle has closed, even though we see pins on both sides, we do see this nice red body. So we're looking for a further move to the downside. And in this case, the target would be 79.70 level, which is right at the bottom of this pin. It may go a little bit deeper into 79.50 or 60-ish level, right about there into this pin here and this one. So those are two good levels as well. So looking here, as we can see, this is where we are currently. So let's just go back a bit. We don't actually, could probably move this higher here. So in terms of our pullback, we are right into that pivot point level. So if the price stays below the pivot point, then we're just looking for price to move lower. But in terms of the pullback, we could get a pullback higher into 20-ish level there, or 28 level, and then a further move to the downside. So the target here would be about the S2 level, 70-ish level, which is about here. So these are fairly close levels. So that will be the target to the downside. So bias is bearish, neutral to bearish on this one. New Zealand dollar has been weak overall. So this is the level that we were watching earlier today. So right now I'm looking for it to move down further. So we have pin here, pin over here. Price had rejected that level previously, and now price is rejecting that level again. Okay, sorry. So here we have our 73.20 level. So price has reacted at this level several times before, and as we can see, price is dropping from there. So I'm looking for basically move back towards the bottom of this range here. The first target here is 72.20-ish level to the downside here, and then looking for a further move to the downside, depending on if the currency is still weak. So this is where we are. There's this big inefficient move. See how this inefficient move got filled? This inefficient move here got filled. So basically I'm looking for price to do the same here, looking for this inefficient move to get filled and price to sort of come down lower here into 72.20 level. So that will be the first target. 71.70-ish level will be the second target to the downside. Dollar CAD here. Dollar CAD, we had a bullish close for the day. Price has held above this 2060 level, and this is a bullish close. So we're looking for a price to move further to the upside here. 122.40 will be the target. This is where we are. Price is making higher lows. So right now I'm looking for price to move up further. And as the commodity currencies, if they keep on suffering, so right now euro and pound are bullish, but Aussie and New Zealand are not as bullish. So this is the type of move we could see. So pull back into the pivot point level and then a further move to the upside. So this will be an important level. So this is where we had, this is the level that we were watching last week, where we had taken a trade somewhere in here or something like that. And basically we were looking for price to come all the way down here, which it did, and then surpass that level. So this level here will be important because it held previously. So we are looking for this level here. So this is not to say that this level will hold, but we do need to keep an eye on it because it is an important level. So overall, the bias is to the upside with a target of 122.40. Okay, euro here. Euro, very bullish close for the day. Excuse me. Now we are holding above this previous high. So looking for further move to the upside 1.1520 level, or even into 1.1530 level to the upside. So this looks bullish. Pound, Swiss franc, the huge move to the upside. Very, very bullish. Now we're going to start coming into some resistance, but there is room to move higher. And in this case, we're looking for further move to the upside. Not much of a pullback here. It looks like price is wanting to move up. If we go back into the 1 hour, so this is quite bullish today with the British pound, the data coming in positive, that looks quite bullish. So if we were to pull back, so this looks like a good place for pullback. So let's say 12700, right about there. So that lines up with our pivot point as well. So that's a good pullback level if the price pulls back. And then we're looking for a further move to the upside. So that looks quite bullish. Dollar Swiss here, US dollar has not been as strong. So price came into this important level, 96.20-ish level. And since then, it is also excuse me, overall in a downtrend. But if all the Swiss franc crosses start moving up, dollar Swiss franc is going to move up as well. Plus we have a bullish close on the day. So we're looking for a further move to the upside in this one. I was looking for price to pull back a little bit more, but it hasn't quite done that. So right now, this is where we are. We're kind of sitting into the highs. It's holding above the pivot point. So I don't particularly like that. So this is where we are from our 4-hour perspective. It's right into this trend line. It's pushing against it. It hasn't crossed it, but once it crosses this 96.20 level, then chances are it will go higher. And in terms of the target here, so I'm going to be looking to get out of this one. I'm just looking for a bit of a pullback, see if we can get a pullback to get out, but otherwise may just dump this one here. And the target, once it crosses 96.20 level here, the target is 9700, so just the top of these pins here. So that will be the next target to the upside. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see if there's an opportunity to get out of it once the price pulls back. If it pulls back into the pivot point, that would be perfect, and we can get out at break even. So again, the narrative around North Korea is driving these Swiss franc and Japanese yen moves. So what we saw was North Korea, nothing really happened to North Korea. They put some sanctions on them. So it was really mild action compared to their North Korea's actions. Really, so basically they did some tests and got some sanctions. They don't care about that. And we are basically in the same place. So as a result of that, because there is no risk in the market, or investors think there's no risk in the market, so the market sentiment is going back towards the risk currency. So that's why we're seeing the euro and the pound and everything else going up. And that's why gold has been dropping. Swiss franc and Japanese yen have not been as strong. So that's why the other currencies are going up against them. So I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I recommend just keep an eye on it. And once we are at break even, just, maybe best to stand aside here. All right. Pound yen, very, very strong move to the upside with the data. All the pound, crosses were very bullish. So now we are coming into resistance levels. We are all the way up here where price had reacted previously. So this is an important level, 146.80 level. See if the price is able to break through that one. The next target would be 148.00 once the price crosses this. So we do need to wait and see if the price is able to get beyond that, because it was a pretty important reaction. But here last time price did have a reaction here like it did previously, but then it did try to test the previous high. So now let's see if that is going to continue here. But overall, this is bullish, and we're looking for further move to the upside. In terms of our pullbacks, we may not, let's see. So pivot point is right here, 145.50. So that, excuse me, that looks like a good level, this 145.43 right here. So this looks like a good pullback level. So price may come down there, but overall, this is bullish. Euro yen. Euro yen, we are right at the very top. So this is an important level. So price has closed on the other side of it, but we just need to be a little bit patient with this one and see if price will hold on the other side, because if it pulls back, it could just be a fake out and pull back into this range that it has stayed in for a while. But in terms of a pullback, price may just come up to this one, 130 level, excuse me, right into this support and resistance level and hold above this level and then go up further. So that would be an important level, 130. See how price reacts at that level. And if it stays above this level, then we're likely to see the price go up higher. Aussie yen here, we have very bullish close for the day. And the next target here would be 88.70 level, maybe a little bit higher. So 88.80 level. So very, very bullish close for the day. And we may see the price pull back into 87.80 or into this one, 8800. So it looks like it is pulling back at the moment. So I would recommend keeping an eye on the news feed. Actually, let's have a quick look to see if there is any news coming out. So it looks like Japan's, no, that doesn't matter, it's EU. Okay, some positive data came out for Japan. And that's why the yen is strengthening at the moment. So it's not related to North Korea, it's just the strength in Japanese yen. Okay, so dollar Swiss franc here, very bullish close for the day. But as again, we are coming into these resistance levels now. So the next target is 11100. So in terms of the pullback, we're likely to see a pullback into 109.80. And if that level holds, which is very close to our pivot points as well. So if price holds above this, we could get another run to the upside. But overall, it is a very bullish close for the day. Euro pound has been very bearish, especially with the positive data now coming out. So this one, big close for the day, looking for a further move to the downside. 89.50 is the target here. It could go a little bit lower into about this area, so 89.30 level. In terms of a pullback here, so that could get filled. That would be one, but in case it doesn't go as deep, so this 90.30 level or even this level, which kind of lines up with, so 90.25 level, that may be a pullback level, and then we may see price drop from there. So 90.20 level, this right here. So looking for a push up into that and then a drop. So euro pound is bearish. Euro Aussie, it is range bound still. We came to the bottom, pushed back up, and now we have a bullish kind of close. So we're looking for price to go into the top into 1.4980. And then at that place, at the time, if the price doesn't break through this level, then we're looking for a drop, just like we saw push back up in this one. So we're looking for a drop at the top of the range. So this is still range bound at this moment. All right, so that's all I have. Any questions or anything to add? Okay, looks like no questions, so we will call it a wrap. I will see you all tomorrow.